Picture yourself standing in the bone-crushing cold of Antarctica, where the thermometer plummets to 40 below and every breath feels like inhaling shattered glass. Around you stretches an endless white void, and inside your canvas shelter, frost crystals coat every surface like diamond dust. Yet somehow, impossibly, you're about to create warmth from the very element trying to kill you, water itself. This isn't science fiction. This is the forgotten fieldcraft of polar explorers who discovered that sub-zero water, when harnessed correctly, could mean the difference between frozen death and survival. These men, isolated at the bottom of the world, with nothing but their wits and observations, stumbled upon a phenomenon that would revolutionize polar survival. Welcome back to Fieldcraft Chronicles, where we uncover the techniques that turned ordinary men into masters of the impossible. The secret lies in understanding what explorers like Shackleton and Amundsen learned through brutal trial and error. Supercooled water exists in a state of precarious equilibrium below freezing, remaining liquid until disturbed. When Antarctic explorers discovered pockets of this phenomenon beneath ice shelves or in sheltered coastal areas where ocean currents prevented freezing, they realized they'd stumbled upon something extraordinary. The water temperature might register at -2 or 3 degrees Celsius, yet it flowed like liquid silver, defying everything logic suggested about the frozen world around them. When brought into contact with a nucleation point, a piece of ice, a rough surface, even vigorous agitation, this supercooled water would crystallize instantly, and in that moment of phase change, it released latent heat. The explorers learned to exploit this crystallization heat by filling metal containers with supercooled seawater and deliberately triggering the freeze inside their shelters. As the water transformed into ice, it surrendered approximately 334 joules per gram, enough thermal energy to raise the interior temperature of a well-insulated hut by several precious degrees. Norwegian expeditions perfected the technique using copper vessels that maximized heat transfer, placing them strategically near sleeping areas where that radiating warmth could sustain life through the murderous polar night. Some teams reported that a single 20-liter container of properly harvested supercooled water, when crystallized, could provide supplemental heat equivalent to burning several pounds of precious fuel. Gathering supercooled water became a daily ceremony fraught with danger and precision. Explorers would venture to known locations where ocean dynamics created the perfect conditions, moving with the deliberate care of surgeons performing life-saving operations. Any premature crystallization meant wasted effort and lost heat. They carried specialized leather-lined containers that minimized nucleation sites, insulated with seal fur, to maintain the water's precarious liquid state during transport back to base. The journey from source to shelter required absolute stillness and controlled movement. One stumble could trigger the phase change prematurely. Once inside the hut, the water would be poured into flat metal pans positioned near the stove or heating source, and then seeded with ice chips in controlled fashion. Experienced explorers developed an almost ritualistic timing, knowing precisely when to trigger crystallization for maximum heat distribution. The beauty of this method lay in its sustainability and reproducibility. Unlike burning precious whale oil or seal blubber, which depleted limited fuel reserves and required dangerous hunting expeditions, the supercooled water technique could be repeated daily wherever conditions permitted. Some expeditions reported maintaining hut temperatures of 10 to 15 degrees Celsius, a tropical paradise compared to the -40 howling outside, using combinations of traditional heating and this crystallization heat. The technique demanded intimate knowledge of local geography, ocean currents, weather patterns, and ice formation, the kind of environmental literacy that separated survivors from casualties in the polar wilderness. These Arctic pioneers understood something profound. Survival isn't about fighting nature, but reading her subtle languages and finding partnership in her processes. They saw opportunity in phenomena that would escape modern notice, turning scientific curiosity into life-preserving craft. That same philosophy drives modern preparedness. Whether you're facing a winter power outage or planning remote wilderness expeditions, the principle remains. Innovation springs from observation, patience, and willingness to see resources where others see only obstacles. If this glimpse into polar ingenuity sparked something in you, subscribe to Fieldcraft Chronicles and share this video with fellow seekers of lost knowledge. History's greatest survival techniques deserve to live again.